Welcome to New Creation Gospel Mission Daily Devotional, Wednesday 27th, May 2026. Topic: When Faith Shares Its Last Meal. The Widow's Story. Hymn 303. My faith looks up to thee. Memory verse: For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. 1 Kings 17:14. Bible reading, 1 Kings 17:8-16. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And she said, As the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but an handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah. And she and he and her house did eat many days. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elijah. Message. When Elijah arrived at Zarephath in 1 Kings 17:8-16, he met a widow preparing what she believed would be her final meal. The drought had reduced her resources to a handful of flour and a little oil, and she was already resigned to the outcome. Yet, this was the very household God directed Elijah to. The request he made, make me a little cake first, sounded unreasonable on the surface, especially to someone who could barely provide for her own child. Still, the widow listened, not because the situation was comfortable, but because she sensed the weight of the prophet's words. Her decision to act on Elijah's instruction stands out precisely because nothing in her circumstances suggested it was wise. She wasn't giving out of abundance, she was giving from the edge of survival. The passage doesn't paint her as fearless or strong. It simply shows a woman who responded with quiet obedience in a moment where everything argued against it. And as she stepped into that act, the promise God gave through Elijah began to unfold. The flour that should have finished didn't finish. The oil that should have run out didn't run out. What she expected to last one meal sustained her household for many days. The story doesn't turn her into a symbol. It leaves her as a real person whose trust in God grew as she watched each day's provision appear. God didn't fill her jar to the brim, but he gave enough for each morning that came. This daily supply became its own testimony. It was not dramatic, not loud, but steady. It shows how God works in the ordinary rhythm of need and dependence, inviting us to trust him with the small things we fear to lose. And often, it is in those small places that his care becomes most visible. Central truth: faith-filled obedience, even when it costs us, unlocks God's miraculous supply. Prayer. God, give me faith to obey and share. Multiply what I offer and meet my needs by your power. Bible in 1 year. 1 Chronicles 26-29 and Psalm 127. May the Lord bless his word. Until tomorrow again, stay blessed and rapturable.